Well, good morning. I'm Brent Adams here with your Rural Strong Morning Ag Report for this Wednesday, September 6th, the 249th day of 2023. We start things off this morning with lower beef demand in most worldwide markets. Other than in the U.S., beef markets around the world are seeing softer consumer demand. A Rabobank Q3 Global Beef Quarterly Report says cattle prices are split into two groups, those in North America and Europe, and those in the rest of the world. Declining supplies and strong consumer demand in the U.S. are driving cattle prices higher, and lower domestic beef supply has also held up prices in Canada and Europe. It's the opposite in most other regions, where increased supply and lower demand are making prices softer. Rabobank says U.S. cattle prices have increased almost 30% over the past 12 months, while Australian cattle prices have dropped by more than 30%, calling it the largest spread they've seen in the past decade. In a number of regions, particularly in Asia, beef purchases made in anticipation of COVID recovery haven't been consumed yet, leaving supply chains full. Well, consumer sentiment lowered during August as the Purdue University CME Group's Ag Economy Barometer dipped 8 points to a reading of 115. The month's decline was driven by producers' weaker perception of the current conditions on their farms and throughout U.S. agriculture. The current conditions index fell 13 points to a reading of 108. The future expectations index also dropped by 5 points to a reading of 119 in August. Rising interest rates and concerns about high input prices continue putting downward pressure on producer sentiment. When asked about their top concerns over the past year, 34% of survey respondents said higher input prices and 24% said rising interest rates. Even though crop prices weakened during the summer, only 1 in 5 producers chose declining commodity prices as one of their top concerns. The Farm Capital Investment Index was lower this month, dropping 8 points to a reading of 37. Well, Alex Harrell of Smithville, Georgia, set the world record for soybean yield with an average of 296.7 bushels per acre. The yield was harvested on August 23rd and verified by the University of Georgia Extension Service. We knew it was going to be good, but maybe not quite this good, says Alex Harrell. There's no silver bullet when it comes to high yields, but it's important to have good products, people, and timing. Harrell's world record soybean yield is indicative of advancements in precision breeding, biotechnology, and increased knowledge of farm management practices. Harrell experienced favorable conditions through the growing season. Only 2 significant weather events with excess rain caused emergence challenges and some flooding. Says Doug Collins, University of Georgia Lee County Extension agent. I'm used to seeing soybeans being in the average range of about 40 bushels an acre. Neither Alex nor I thought the yield would be that high. Also this morning, agriculture has seen increasing online attacks in recent years. Global Ag Tech says technology makes running daily operations easier and helps increase output. Different types of technology help with efficiency, yield, and profitability, and they include computers, robotics, drones, software, and vehicles. One of the biggest reasons agriculture has become an online target is due to the vital role it plays in the country's economy. Farms are also considered easy targets. Many farmers haven't implemented cybersecurity measures and are unaware of the vital role those measures play in the success of their operations. Industry experts recommend farmers implement security measures to protect their businesses. Among some of the recommended best practices, farmers should have a dedicated contingency plan. It's also important to protect all login information, make sure to put measures in place to protect against phishing attacks, and it's also very important to install antivirus software and to make sure it stays updated. Well, our nation recently requested a USMCA dispute settlement panel related to Mexico's ban of biotech food products, but what are the next steps in that process? Here with the details is USDA Radio's Rod Bain.
Now that the U.S. has requested a dispute settlement panel within the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement to resolve issues with Mexico's policy on biotech products such as genetically modified corn, what might the process itself and its timeline look like? U.S. Trade Representative's Office Chief Agricultural Negotiator Doug McCaleb explains.
The process would include actually establishing the panel members, or the judges in this case. Once the panel is established, there will be a period where the participants are able to argue and bring their case and evidence to the USMCA panel. We would anticipate this entire process to wrap up in early 2024, certainly by mid-2024.
The ambassador also points out,
we were also pleased that Canada has decided to join this case as well, along with the United States.
He also notes this is a unique case in that it is the first USMCA dispute settlement panel addressing a sanitary and phytosanitary trade matter. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
And finally this morning, farmers are seeing another decline in direct government payments. More from USDA Radio's Gary Crawford.
Net cash income for U.S. farmers last year came in at over $202 billion, far and away a record high. And so
it's not a surprise to anyone that 2023 may be forecast to come in lower.
USDA Deputy Chief Economist Cindy Nickerson, and yes, USDA is forecasting net cash income this year down by about $53.5 billion, or a decline of about 26.5%. Lots of contributors to the lower number. One of them is another decline in direct government payments to producers. Cindy says with the almost complete phase-out of pandemic assistance programs,
government payments are forecast at $12.6 billion, which is just shy of $3 billion lower than 2022. And if realized, that would be almost a 19% decline in government payments.
And about a 27% decline from 2020, when government farm payments peaked at about $46.5 billion. Gary Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Well, for more in-depth weekly ag news, please subscribe to the Tractors and Troubadours podcast from Rural Strong Media. Each week, we bring you agriculture industry newsmakers, hot-button industry issues, educational features, and the best in traditional country music. You can find the Tractors and Troubadours podcast at ruralstrongmedia.com or wherever you get your podcasts. We also invite you to join us each day on Rural Strong Radio, our 24/7 streaming radio station found at ruralstrongmedia.com or on the Live 365 streaming radio app for your mobile device. Each day, we bring you agriculture programming, as well as the best in traditional country music, Western swing, bluegrass, Southern rock, and a little inspirational music. Again, the place to find it all, ruralstrongmedia.com or the Live 365 streaming radio app. You're getting ready for harvest season, and we're portable. Take us with you everywhere you go, and we'll help you get through those long, hard days in the field. We'll be back again tomorrow for another Rural Strong Morning Ag Report here on Steve Shetler Media. Have a great day, everybody.